Think we're ready, folks. How you doing? It's Friday. Thanks for hanging out with me for the week. I am excited to bring you the this Friday's topic, which is creating 5 streams of income. I'm in the process of getting this piece set up so that we can go live. Okay. And it's been an awesome day. Awesome week. Thanks for joining me. Here we go. So, this week we've talked about a number of different topics. And one of the things I wanted to do was... Awesome week. Thanks for joining me. Here we go. Gotta get that piece right? So, as you can see, Everyday Wealth Systems, it's been 2 weeks now. Second week, we had a couple of days where we kind of had to take a little break due to, the weather kind of getting the best of me. Let you know I am human, folks. This stuff is not scripted and made up. So I've been excited about the information that I could share with you based on my own real life experience. This is firsthand while I've read a lot of books on this subject and have really gotten deep into some of the topics that I've shared with you and other topics. I'm really talking to you about the basic fundamental approaches that I took to get out of the $88,000 worth of debt that I found myself in after being led down a number of different dead-end roads by folks or companies who made some, empty promises, obviously costing me a lot of money. And so the whole object of learning, having a coach, a mentor, taking a course, whatever the case may be, is that you gain the knowledge that you don't have, you gain the knowledge of those who experienced it in order to expedite your learning process, and while at the same time allowing you to implement without the trial and error that they experienced. Simple, right? So all of us have, in some form or another, at some point or another in our life, have had coaching. So we know and understand the benefit of it. When it comes to the subject of money, it's not always the easiest thing to surrender or submit to. And so I'm hoping that through this process, you get a chance to get to hear me, get a sense of who I am, get to hear my topics. You can go and explore them and Google them, and any way you want to flush them out, do it. I invite you to. This stuff is real, and it's been life-changing for me and some of the, a lot of the clients that I have had the privilege of working with. And so it's my passion. If there was nothing else that I could do on earth, this would be it. This would be the one thing that I want to do. And to that extent, I am working diligently to get there, to where this is all I do, right? We can talk about some more extensive forms of investing and sophisticated, different aspects of investing and earning money. But folks, most of us go to work every day. We have a job. That job pays us income, and in a lot of cases in proportionate to the investment that we've made in our knowledge or skill to perform those duties. It's a shame that such a large percentage of us are really, because of lack of knowledge and lack of coaching or mentoring, are really wasting one of our most precious resources, and that is the income that we earn, because we just don't know. So to that extent, I wanted to share my knowledge in hopes of reaching those of you who are just looking to maximize the income that you bring in every week, every 2 weeks, once a month, however you're paid. As the slogan goes, if you have a predictable income, meaning get paid weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly, I can show you how to move your life from ordinary to extraordinary, really, based on your design. You decide how you want that to look. I can't define what your extraordinary looks like, nor would I ever attempt to. So, creating 5 streams of income, right? So think about it like this. Let's just say you had one client. You had one really good client. You're in a business, you're LLC or S Corp or whatever you may be. you're in business, you're open for business, and you get one client, and that one client pays you $150,000 a year, and you're excited about the fact that you got that one great client, right? So the question that I would ask you in all that excitement, it may be hard to wrap your head around this at first because after all, that's what we all hope and pray for, right? We open the doors of our business and we land that mega client who is responsible for, kind of just allowing us to exhale. So you get that client, they pay you $150,000 a year. They love what you do. You love working with them. Great relationship. So the question I want to ask you is, are you in a good position, or are you in a potential very risky position? Now, before you answer that, I want you to think about your answer, because on the face of it, some of you are like, that's a no-brainer. Duh, of course, right? But think about it. You got one client, and that one client is paying you very, very well. As a matter of fact, let's say you've done that for maybe 2 or 3 years, and so you've gotten so used to that income, you've, taken care of all your responsibilities, got the kids in the right schools, you're taking the right vacations, you're enjoying life, right? Really seems to be nothing to worry about. Have all your prayers been answered and you're in a great position, or you're in a potentially very risky position, right? So I don't know what you think. Share it if you like. Hashtag what's the answer? Or even text your message, your answer, whatever you think it may be. I'm going to suggest to you that while it is great and it is the answer to most of our prayers to get that one phenomenal client, right? What happens if that one client goes away? That one client goes away. You folks are probably dating myself, but I grew up hearing my mother say you never want to put all your eggs in one basket. Well, there's a reason, right? So that one client goes away. Now your whole economy, your whole household economy, your whole business has basically been put at risk, because that one source is now gone. And you're left to figure out, one, how you replace the client, and two, if you can replace the client at the level that client left, meaning $150,000 a year. So something to think about, right? So one of the things that a lot of experts would tell you I began to implement in my own life was creating multiple streams of income. That's how most people refer to it. Multiple streams of income. And so what I've done is I've kind of found, please excuse me, 5. And so I think 5 is a pretty safe number, and it's very, very doable. And most of you are operating in 2 or 3 of them already and don't even realize it, right? So the obvious one is employment. Employment is, your job, where you go, how you make your living, what you do every day. You trade your skill and your expertise for someone else's pay, and there are certain things that come along with that. One of them, of course, is that paycheck. So your employment is one. So let's check that off. That's pretty much like a no-brainer. We all agree with that, right? So there you go. Not a great check, right? Now, with so another stream of income that you want to set up is retirement. You want to set up a retirement stream. Money that is allocated, that's going to earn money over 10, 20, 30, 40 years for you to enjoy retirement, right? So that's an important stream. And how do you do that, right? One, you get some knowledge from somewhere, preferably Everyday Wealth Systems, and you find out where you can find those places to create a stream of income for your future, the long term, right? Employment, or your employer, is one. Most of you have some sort of employee benefit called a 401k if you're in private industry, a 403b if you work for a school system or a university, a TSP, thrift savings plan, if you work for the federal government. There are certain, I'm not sure of the plans that state government and municipalities have, but they're employees and sponsored plans, and in a lot of cases those plans are matched up to, say, 4, 5, 6%. So those work out. You allocate so much and your employer matches, and up to a certain percentage, right? Percentage or dollar amount per year, right? And so that's one way. The other way is an IRA, right? Individual retirement account. There's another form of that called the Roth IRA. If you're self-employed, there's a SEP, and they now have a SEP, self-employment Roth. So these are instruments that you use, which we would call your second stream, right, to prepare you for that long-term benefit of retirement. So chat. We all agree with that. All of you have one. If you don't, message me and let's talk about it. I'll do what I can to kind of make you aware of what might be available or what questions to ask your employer. The third one is now we're getting outside of, some stuff where you may have to do a little investigating, right? But investments. So what are investments, right? Investments are opportunities where you take your money and make a purchase into either a item or object that will hopefully generate income and allow you to earn money off of the money that you've invested, right? And some of those might be insurance contracts, gold and silver, real estate. There are all kind of real estate programs. When I was coming up, Carlton Sheets and a few other guys were out there pumping these programs where you can teach you all the ins and outs of buying and flipping and rehabbing and all this great stuff, right? I've been there, I've done that. There are some personal experiences that I can share with you about it. It served me extremely well, particularly when I begin to share with you about the second part of my story. My investment properties are what really were the bridge over the troubled waters of 5 years. That's right, 5 years. It's because I set up these multiple streams that I was able to make it through 5 years of not earning any income, for the most part, from a job. So, there are certain things that you can do to invest your money and make a living or earn an income stream from those investments, right? The next one will be a home-based business. Folks, I don't have to tell you there are hundreds and hundreds of home-based business opportunities out there. One of the things that I like to say, while I don't, I own a few myself, I own my home-based businesses, or my home-based businesses, one of which has been earning me an income over the last 30 years as a career or profession that I've been involved in. But a home-based business is really a very, very unique proposition in your multiple streams, because a home-based business is a place where either a hobby that you decide you want to put out in the marketplace, or an interest or skill or expertise that you have you want to put out in the marketplace, you decide to structure it and to provide those services or offerings to the public in exchange for their money, right? And so there's an opportunity to earn income. The rule of thumb is you want to give yourself at least 3 to 5 years to begin to really reap the investment that you've made and begin to see a profit, right? But there's something really, really powerfully unique about a home-based business. And home-based businesses don't necessarily come in these cookie-cutter packages, that a lot of us have heard about and been solicited by. I'm not knocking any of them. Do not get me wrong. But a home-based business is really simply what it says. It's a business that you operate out of your home. There are some that you can get in that are kind of already pre-packaged, and they have a whole bunch of the components and elements of what you need, a product or services, a web page, some marketing attached to it, some banner ads, or some sort of print copy or copy that you can take to a printer or reprint yourself for advertising purposes. But one of the biggest and best benefits that a home-based business provides, it provides you tax write-offs. And that's one of the biggest reasons that when I begin to talk to my clients about, creating or setting up their wealth plan, that a home-based business is a big part of it. Because, folks, it's the last bastion of of opportunity and benefit that the federal government gives through the IRS everyday folks. It's the one place where the opportunity and the benefit based on the IRS code is the greatest that you will experience as a everyday person. It doesn't take a whole lot of money to start one. There's some very specific things that you can do in terms of registering it. Pardon me. And becoming identified in the marketplace as an entity that is recognized as offering your goods and services. But the tax benefits that you get as a result of being a home-based business are really second to none. They're huge. I'm going to give you a little history. Turn of the century, 1900s, 80% of commerce was done by home-based businesses. People who own businesses, everybody pretty much owned their business. And so I remember growing up, like in cities like Baltimore, Richmond, I'm sure, cities where you were from, small town I grew up in, Cambridge, Maryland, I remember there being little storefronts in the front of people's homes. It was a home-based business. And as a result of that, the tax laws were written to favor that home-based business because so you could write off certain aspects of cost of doing business that was also attached to your living situation. So the tax laws haven't really changed that much in terms of how they favor businesses. And so right here, folks, again, these are one of the topics that I will do extensive workshops or seminars on in terms of teaching the benefits and why you should ultimately, this should be a part of your plan, okay? Because the tax benefits are incredible. And so, again, that would be, so we check off number 3, right? Right? Number 3, home-based businesses. The biggie I'm going to just put here, tax advantages, right? So there you go. And we're going to check that one off, right? The last one is part-time employment, right? It can be a hobby or an area of interest. One of the reasons I would say that make it something that is a hobby of yours or an area of interest, because when you're going to now take additional hours out of your day and your responsibility to and with your family, you want it to be something that you enjoy. So for instance, when I was younger and had very little obligations in terms of, family obligations, children, or what have you, one of the things that I did, I liked jewelry. So what I did was I got a part-time job in a jewelry store. Why? Because one, I was learning more and more about gemstones and gold and silver and the different types of gold, as well as I got an employee discount. I don't know how many of you guys remember Kay Jewelers, but I used to work at Kay Jewelers in the old but now defunct Landover Mall in Landover, Maryland, right? And I'll never forget, Mr. Chum was my store manager. And so it was one of the things, it was an area of interest. I love jewelry. I enjoyed, having nice pieces. And Kay Jewelers was a very reputable jeweler. And it wasn't far from my home where I was living at the time. And so I got a part-time job there. And in doing so, I learned a lot. I met a lot of people. It allowed me to engage and kind of have fun. But the other part of it is, and I made some money, right? Got paid. But more importantly, I got that employee discount. And that was huge, as well as incentives for, sales, commissions, and bonuses that took place from month to month that allowed you to earn, to win jewelry or what have you. And so I would encourage you that if you're going to go to, as one of these 5, the part-time employment, let it be something that you enjoy doing and something that something you enjoy doing as a hobby or an area of interest. Because that way it's not really like work. Because after all, if you worked all day and then now you're going to go and give another 2 or 3 hours an evening or on the weekends for something additional that's going to take your time. You want it to be something that you truly enjoy doing, right? And then of course there's always those benefits when you work at these places where you get some employee discounts that can be a benefit. And so let's go over them again. Employment, that's the obvious one. You're doing that every day. Retirement, it's one of the streams of income. You want to set something up where you're earning money through an employee-sponsored plan, an IRA, a Roth IRA, different things like that will yield something back to you at the end of your working career. Investments, we talked about insurance contracts, gold, silver, real estate, those kinds of things. Home-based business, a big one. Why? Tax advantages, right? As well as earning extra income and gaining knowledge, right? And then part-time employment. You want that to be an area, a hobby or area of interest. And so, I don't know how complicated that may sound, but again, going back to the original kind of scenario or story, you don't want your job to be your sole source of earning a living. As soon as you start working, you want to begin to put in place these kinds of things so that you have streams of income coming from multiple places, so that if by chance something happens where you find yourself, temporarily out of work, or in the case of the federal government, in this area, the DC metropolitan area, there was a big shutdown due to political wrangling back and forth. Folks were out of work for, I think, close to 2 months. So you never know. There could be, family emergencies or some unforeseen incidences that occur that put you in a situation where you're not able to go to work. But if you've got multiple streams set up, right, then you've got something to kind of supplement or augment your normal income stream, so that you're not knocked down back to zero, right? So hopefully that was helpful, and I'm hoping you find some value in this. Again, if you do, please share, like, comment, and with friends or whomever you think may benefit from this or could benefit from this. And inbox me if you have any questions. So, in closing, it's been an awesome week, 2 weeks. I started this on the 2nd of January. It was the launch. I've been preparing for this event in my life for quite a number of years. It's been my own personal experience, and then I kind of the old-fashioned way of trying to get clients and helping people one by one, and that was fulfilling in a lot of ways. But now I've made a bigger commitment, which required a bigger investment, to reach more of you in hopes of sharing this information in a way that might be life-changing for your life and those around you. And so, again, I would appreciate if you liked, shared, and commented on the videos. And I really do hope that it's a source of blessing for you and your family and those who you share with. Some of the feedback that I've gotten has been incredible. I'm grateful and really appreciate it. Probably the piece that I haven't spoke about very much during these last couple weeks has been, I do a whole piece on mindset. In order for you really to maximize this knowledge that I've shared with you over the last couple of weeks, one of the first things that, and I'm sure you're aware of it already, is your thinking is changed. Your thinking, how you think about your money and what you spend, and whether your spending is a need-based or a want-based, or how you operate in your household in terms of reducing costs. Whatever the case may be, it's a shift in your thinking. And that shift in your thinking is what's going to drive your behavior. And so we want to really, in this whole process, we want to move you to an abundance mindset. That's probably the most powerful thing you can do on your own behalf to really experience the life you desire and deserve. And it can happen very, very rapidly. When you focus, when you get laser focused, it's amazing what kinds of transformations can take place in your life. And so again, I want to thank you It's been an awesome 2 weeks. I'll be picking up on this next week. I may do something tomorrow just to do it and put it out there. I'm wrestling with some things that are in my spirit about what I should do. Folks, I go through a whole lot of, different conversations in my head about what to share, what to talk about, what may be best, what is in line, what's just enough, And so I'll sleep on it and I'll wake up with a decision about which way we go with this. But again, it's been awesome. I appreciate all the views. I appreciate all the shares. I appreciate all the feedback. You guys have been awesome. I'm learning some things about this process. Appreciate the folks initially helping me get this thing set up. Dion and Wendy and Keisha. I really appreciate, becoming a little more savvy with social media and trying to figure out how to make this all work. And so I just want to thank you and wish you a wonderful, safe, exciting weekend. I think it's supposed to snow or rain or not either of those, cold in the eastern region anyway. And so thanks again. God bless. And remember, there's life after debt. And if you have a predictable income, trust me, you can move your life from ordinary to extraordinary in a very short period of time and realize the life you desire and deserve. God bless you and have a good night. Great weekend. Peace.